Only war.
What is up, gents? 40k Dirtbags here. We got a video about the creations of Bile. If you guys are new to the channel, appreciate click on the video. Finally, we get to do the Chaos Space Marine new index from Christmas. So I think great. Games Workshop is crushing it with all of these detachments, just giving us a free detachment out of nowhere for every single faction out there. Is pretty freaking cool. Right now, we're currently ranked #1 Chaos Space Marine player in the world, ranked based off of ITC rankings. We're going to LVO coming up in January. We're going to be finishing off the year with Chaos Space Marines. I'm known for the Chaos Cult guy, but with this new detachment coming up, we definitely have to try it for a video or battle report coming up soon. So in this video, we're going to be going over every single thing you need to know about the creations of Bile. Leave in the comments what you like, didn't like, how we can improve on the channel. I appreciate all my Patreons who support us and have been supporting us all of 2024. 2025 is going to be insane. There's just so much happened in 2024. This is probably the biggest year of 40k that we've had on the Dirtbag Nation, including myself just personally. It's just a huge year. So if you guys are interested, we're going to do the merch stuff in a little bit, but we're going to go over the detachments, the enhancements, the stratagems, and then a list or two at the end, just to give you some ideas on what I'm thinking about the creations of Bile. We're going to be running a battle report this Friday against the new Corn detachment as well, so if you guys see this, stay tuned for Friday. We're going to be doing that live, so it's going to be kind of a weird creations of Bile list, but we're mainly running it to test out all of this stuff, just to kind of see what works, what doesn't work, and what we would do differently. So we'll be back after the sponsors, and then we'll get into the new detachment. What's up, gents? If you want to support the channel, the best way to support us is to click on any of these links in the descriptions, as well as on the main page. We have our 3d6 Wargaming, the objective markers, we have the Rexar lasers terrain. Use the code DIRTBAG for free shipping, and also the Patreon page. That'll be at the end of the video, but the merch store is the new store. If you guys want to support and wear some of the swag at the RTTs and GTs coming up, make sure you come up to me and say, hey, check out this swag, because I will love it. We have a bunch of Orc swag, a bunch of 40k swag, but mainly we got the Dirtbag swag. This tumbler, legit, use it every single day. Coffee and water, and then these hoodies are so comfortable. I would recommend getting a size up just so they're comfortable on you, as well as with the t-shirts and any of the muscle tees. Not only can you support us at the merch store, but you can also support us on Discord by messaging me specifically, DM. We sell poker chips, which are great for objective markers, naming specific units that have buffs or debuffs, and sticky objectives. We use them every single game. All of the stickers are available, as you see over here. And then all these models, we have Cypher, which is in every single list. We have our Tech Priests for Grey Knights and any Space Marines. They're really hard to get. We have the Phobos Librarian, the Phobos Lieutenant with the combi weapon. Caldus Assassin should still be in every single list, and the old school Cotiez mop. But guys, let's get back to the video. And if you guys have read the books, the creations of Bile, the books for Bile are freaking awesome. Like I think I finished 2 of them. I'm on the 3rd one now, just listening on the car rides. It's awesome. And a lot of the stuff in this, especially the Helm of All Seeing, it just goes based off of the lore, which is really cool. So it's good to see like the lore get implemented into the game as well. I'm not huge into the lore with all the other stuff, but when it comes to like Chaos and Grey Knights and stuff like that, you might see something pop up in the books that they put it into the game, which is really cool. So with this detachment, guys, I read it when it first came out. I literally was driving to work. I was like, I can't read this and drive. So I got to work and just spent like 2 hours just reading this and building like 10 different lists. But I think this detachment is cool. I think it's fun. I don't know if it's the best detachment we have. It's definitely a bonus to some of the other detachments, i.e. Night Lords, that we have in the Codex. So this is definitely top, probably 3 in the index, competitive wise. Anything that has like advance and charge and stuff like that, and just built-in buffs is definitely a good attachment. Anything that you have to do specific stuff on, like Night Lords, is just not a good attachment. Anything that you rely on your opponent to do, not a good attachment. I want something that like, hey, you get this for running this detachment, go. Like that is the point of the detachment rule. And now that they nerfed the 3-inch deep strike from Night Lords, I'm still kind of butthurt about that. But let's get into it. So at the start of the battle round, now I know Vanguard Tactics did a video on this, and they put in the comments, they pinned it, that you don't get to pick and then roll one. It's you pick one, or if you're Fabius Bile, you get to roll 2 randomly, and then if you like one of the rolls, you can keep that one and then roll again for another die, or just re-roll both dice. So that is the rule of this, is you get to pick one when you're building an army. Let's say you want to bring Abaddon or something like that. You're like, all right, Abaddon's going to be my warlord. I'm not going to need Bile, and I'm just going to pick +1 weapon skill, or +1 attack, or +1 bliss skill, or whatever. So you get to pick that, and then you play the game. If you bring Bile, you get to roll randomly, like the random dice, and if you like what you roll, you can keep it. If you don't like one of them, let's say you get ballistic skill and you really don't want that, you roll. If you get another duplicate, you only get one benefit that battle round, or that game. So it's every game. So every single game it's going to be different, which is going to be so weird to track if I run this at a tournament. But yeah, so let's get into it. First, if you roll 1, it is add to the attack of the melee weapons, which is cool. So now every single one just gets an extra attack in melee, which is what we're known for. So chaos is going to be insane in melee if we roll that. Then add 2 to the move. That just alone, guys, is why Chaos Cold is so freaking good, is because how fast they are. So if you're adding 2 to the move characteristic of everybody, you're going to be advancing faster, you're going to be moving, doing actions easier, all that stuff. So add 2 to the move character. Now again, this is just infantry, so it doesn't work on your vehicles and stuff like that. But when you get out of the vehicle and then move, you're now going, instead of 9 inches, you're going 11 inches out of the vehicle, which is, that 2 inches is huge, which is what she said. So next one is going to be improving the weapon skill. So all of our melee weapon skills can be hitting easier on 2s most of the time. The toughness, so we're kind of like Death Guard running around, so +1 toughness. It's not going to be the best thing, because we're already used to being toughness 4, toughness 5 anyway. If you are running Bile though, and you get Bile with a unit, you're now toughness 5, and then you can go up to toughness 6 on your chosen, for example. Add 1 of the strength characteristic of the melee weapons, which could be more marine killers, but nothing crazy. And then add 1 to the ballistic skill, which, if you're making a whole list around that, might be benefit just to pick that one rather than hopefully rolling the +1 ballistic skill. It's going to be great for a blitz, havocs, anything you really want to shoot from afar. But again, most of the time we're going to be getting into combat anyway, so that's probably going to be the least likely one I'm going to want. So let's get into the enhancements. Surgical precision gives a unit precision, so excluding dam. A lot of the new stuff is all excluding dam, which kind of sucks, but there's really no damned units that want this one, really. I don't know a damned unit that wants precision. When I first read this on the car ride in, I thought this was like, give a Heritage Astartes models precision, but then I saw later on it's melee weapons. Like, imagine the Disco Lord coming off the shelf with precision on his flamer. Oh god, he would be in every single list. This probably would be freaking OP if I brought this with the Disco Lord and precision on his flamer. So you're going to be able to move up, flamer somebody, kill the character. If they charge at you, can Overwatch and precision out the characters. Like, that's going to be insane. But forget I said anything, because it doesn't work that way. This one's not bad, 10 points. Having a Lord with precision is pretty cool, especially with a devastating wound weapon. Then we got the Living Carapace. Add 1 of the bear's wound characteristic and Feel No Pain 5+. I'm playing a guy in Worlds from Poland, actually France, coming up on TTS. He's actually going to be testing this out. So he's going to be testing out the Lord with a extra wound and a 5 of Feel No Pain. And then at the end of the fight phase on a 4+, you take, I think, D3 mortals. So it's like a little mini Catan. Every damage that goes into him is half the damage. Plus he has a 5 of Feel No Pain. Plus he has an extra wound. So having a 110 point model running around for actions, like deep striking and then doing an action, is going to be really tough to kill. So that could be really good for a secondary option. So that was actually a pretty cool idea. It's kind of like what we do for our Grey Knights in our fixed list. We put First to the Fray on our Chaplain or Grand Master, so that way they can just come down and do an action and, you know, get us points. So they don't have First to the Fray, but at least they have a deep striking character model that you can bring in and just, you know, live for a very, very long time. Helm of All Seeing, this is the one thing I was talking about, where in the books his helmet is just so highly advanced and teched out, like he can literally see everything in the vision. So when they put this, I was like, oh my god, they actually use the same thing from the books. So the Heretic Astartes infantry, Model can't be deep struck within 12 inches of the bear. I was looking at the list and I was like, what the hell would I put this on that would really benefit it? Now, you could do somebody that's super aggressive, like going forward on a character, master possession, something like that. If they're going to be moving up with the possessed and they're going to have this on them, it's going to be no deep striking within 12 inches of that bear. So you can kind of like push forward and have deep strikes get pushed back even further in their deployment zone, or just block them out altogether. So that could be something if you want to. It's non-damned unit as well. So if you wanted to think about like the little flamer guy, he's damned, the cultist dude. That would have been a cheap option. The other cheapest option is the sorcerer. So you're going to have to spend 85 points to have a sorcerer sit in your backfield, not do anything besides this, and block out, deep strikes and stuff like that. So I don't think this is going to be used a ton. I might be wrong. This might be super OP with, like I said, models going forward. But they have to be on the table, so they can't be in a rhino. And usually if you have a lord, you're going to want to put something else on them, like the hammer ability on them and over the helm of all-seeing. But we'll test it. Prime test subject, 35 points. That is insane. But Heretic Stars Infantry, excluding damned, add one of the damage characteristic. So the hammer goes from 3 to 4 for his Kamehameha. And each time the Baron makes a melee attack, reroll the hit roll. So I'm thinking already, you're putting a Lord with a Legionary unit. You're, advancing, charging. You're getting full rerolls to hit on your Lord with, let's say, explosions. So hitting on 3s, exploding on 6s, full rerolls to hit. And then if they're attacking a model on an objective, you get full rerolls to wound with your devastating 4 damage AP3 Demon Hammer. Like that is just, you're going to kill almost anything in the game if you obviously crit a ton. So that's going to be super fun to try out. I had that obviously in my list. You should have this in your list as well. Try it on the Lord. It's going to be brutal. And it's infantry only, so you can't put it on a Demon Prince or anything like that. So let's get into the stratagems. Stratagems next are this one. I hate the names of the stratagems. So your opponent's shooting phase or fight phase. 1 Heretic Astartes infantry unit from your army selected until the end of the phase. Subtract 1 from the hit roll. So basically, you have in melee or shooting -1 to hit. So always having Nurglings in most of your games just to kind of stop infiltrators or help with your scout moves. It's always good to have a unit of Nurglings in your list just for 40 points if you have anything extra. But now you have always -1 to hit to shooting or melee. Really good, especially if you have 10-man units and they're charging into you and your Nurglings aren't close enough. You can then just use that 1 extra CP. Now everything's -1 to hit. -1 to hit on a lot of armies is huge, especially with Chaos Cult. Anytime I get a -1 to hit aura, it just kind of negates my +1 to hit, +1 to wound Dark Commune charging in. So now they go back to hitting on 4s, or if I don't have the Dark Commune +1 to hit, now they're hitting on 5s. Like that is a huge deal with melee armies. Blood Angels hate hitting on 4s. Space Marines hate hitting on 4s. And it's going to work with shooting as well. So it's not just the melee profile, it's -1 to hit always. So that's really cool. That's just an additional bonus for defensive. And then we have in the fight phase, we have fight on death, subtracting 1 if it's a damned unit. So you could give AC/DC fight on death. I don't think that's worth it, honestly. On a 5+, like it's really not worth it. So I wouldn't be looking at that at all. But everything else in the army is going to be able to fight on death on a 4+. So if you do have a fight first unit that you charge into, you can't get around it, whatever it may be, or they're just coming at you, like you kill something, all of a sudden they have this big melee unit coming after you, you can then just pop this 1 CP, your whole possessed unit now fights on death on a 4+. That's going to be awesome. And I don't think you can dark back when you're fighting on death, which kind of sucks, but at least you're still going to be able to hit on 3s. If you are the Night Lord's kill team, you're going to be able to hit on 2s if they're at half strength. Like it's going to be a lot of things that you can do with this, and I think even characters. Yeah, so you can roll separately for the characters. So if the character dies at the end, you roll on a 4+. Let's say Abaddon now has a 4-up fight on death. So then you roll a 4-up, and then boom, he gets a fight on death, which is going to be pretty cool. Yeah, so fight on death. So we already have -1 to hit, fight on death, 2 good strats going into this. Next one is the fight phase. Until the end of the phase, each time a model makes a melee attack, it targets a character unit. I'm not sure why they made it 2 CP. If it specifically targets a specific unit, that's just going to be super niche. I know there's a lot of characters out there, but it has to go into a character unit, so you can't go into like a big knight. If the big knight is Rex, yes, it would definitely benefit, but it needs to be a character unit. You can then reroll all the wound rolls. Now, this already stands out to Possessed. So this is probably going to be the Possessed detachment, but the Possessed full rerolls to wound with dev wounds once per game, 2 damage is going to be really hurtful into a lot of armies. They're speed 9 as well, so they're super quick. So getting +2 speed, now they're speed 11, getting to advance and charge, fight on death, and full rerolls to wound against a character unit. Pretty sick. If one or more enemy character models were destroyed as a result of this attack, select one enemy unit within 6 inches of your unit. That enemy unit must take a battle shock test. If it's a warlord, each enemy unit within, so it's basically like a 6-inch explosion of battle shock tests. That's gonna, this second part, cool, because like if I'm charging in and do something, you're battle shocked, it's going to be pretty cool with like trying to steal a point, but most of the time it's not really going to come up. It's only going to come up if they're charging you, you then do this, full rerolls to wound, you kill a character on the clapback, and then they're battle shocked, or a unit within 6 inches is battle shocked. Now you get more primary potentially than they do. So that's going to be pretty cool, niche, but the full rerolls to wound is just a little bonus. Now, if you have all Legionnaires in your army, which again we're testing on Friday, then you're gonna get full rerolls to wound built in, and you have this additional one for units that don't have it, like Possessed or Chosen or something like that. So delayed mutations. I was talking to Keeble about this. I just don't think this is going to be used at all, if not maybe once in a blue moon. Me personally, I don't think I'd be using this unless. So unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. So in your command phase, excluding damned, again, everything's excluding damned, unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. Then select one augmentation until the start of the next command phase. Models in unit have selected augmentation. Like, why would I spend 2 CP on this? I'd rather spend 2 CP on a grenade, advance and charge, full rerolls to wound, -1 to hit, return bodies. Like, there's so many other things I'm going to be spending my CP on than getting +1 attack, +1 to hit. Like, 1 CP, I can see me using this more often, but 2 CP, I'm probably never, ever, ever, ever going to be using this strat. It's 2 CP interrupt, like, you're just never going to be using this strat. If you have a Lord, and you might want to do this maybe once in like 10 games, cool. Most of the time you're not going to be doing this ever. This is kind of like a dead strat to me. Let me know what you think about that strat. This one is probably one of my favorites. That's why I'm testing out the list on Friday. But anytime you can bring guys back to try and steal primary, or actually get primary, or steal objectives, or let's say you got killed off the objective and you really want to get that objective turn 1 to do what's the one where you do an action and if you hold it, you get points for the rest of the game? That one. You then make a guy and then put it back on the objective. Now you control it and you survived. That's going to be huge. I always think about regeneration of stealing and controlling primary. So this is huge in an all melee, most melee army. So if it's battle line as well, you can be returning D3 destroyed models, excluding them. Again, Cultist doesn't work on, but Legionnaires, which we have 40 of, are going to be coming back D3 a turn. So 1, cool, but coming back 6 OBSEC on a point, and also potentially stopping battle shocks, that's kind of a big deal. I run this in Chaos Cult, and just bringing back 3 big grotesque dudes in my cult army is kind of like a detriment to the opponent. Like, oh my god, I have to kill these guys again. So now it's like you bring back 3 Legionnaires who aren't bad at melee, like, and just again stealing primary is really where you're going to be, and it's 1 CP. So I think this is going to be huge. I really like this one right here. That's where we're really going to be building the list around, is this one. So then we have the last one at the start of the fight phase. So start of your charge phase, you can then declare a charge in which you advanced. So you can't shoot. you can basically just advance and charge. So until the end of the turn, units eligible to declare a charge in turn which advance. So if you have like pistols or anything like that, you can't shoot like Chosen can, but at least you'll be able to get that advance and charge off if you really need that movement. So again, this is going to be perfect for Possessed because they don't have any shooting weapons. So those are the strats, guys. Those are my insights on most of this stuff. Let's get into some options that I built with a list recently, and then leave in the comments on what ideas you have that I might have missed out on. All right, first list, we got the Chaos Lord, obvious with the big ass hammer, prime test subject, 35 points. Just having that in your list, I think, is going to be in every single list that you guys see. Cypher should be in every single Chaos list. There's just no point not to bring him in there. Actually, I think he gets all of this stuff as well, so we can actually get some extra buffs because he is a Heretic Astartes infantry model. Fabius Bile, because he's going to be joining one of the lists, and I want to be rolling 2 of these on the chart randomly. You get to reroll if you want. He's the Warlord. Cultist Mob, because you want 1 sticky objective. 1 5-man Legionnaire unit, 2 Rhinos, 1 10-man Chosen unit. That's going to be with the Bile. So the Bile is going to have +1 strength, +1 toughness on the Chosen, and they're going to get 2 extra benefits from this as well. That unit is just going to be super hopped up on some drugs in this game. And then we have another 5-man Chosen unit, which could be with the Lord, or the Lord can go with the Legionnaires. Now, the Lord going with the Chosen, he gets a free advance and charge already. So, and he can shoot, plasma pistol, but like that's going to be good with speed with the Lord. But if you want the Lord to go to Legionnaires, get the rerolls to wound, that would be my suggestion. But again, it's up to you. Nemesis Claw, I actually just put together 20 of these guys. They look freaking phenomenal. They got the bat helmets, all of the bat shoulder pads, and just extra bits is just sick. So I put together 20 of those guys. But this one has a 5. The no strats engagement range with a melee army with this detachment is going to be nuts. We are testing out 2 Oblit units. The Oblits I think would be cool because if you don't have something you need to come back, like Legionnaires or Chosen or something like that, like bringing a 3 wound model back is pretty cool for 1 CP. But if you bring back an Oblit with 7 wounds, 5 wounds, T7, potentially T8, that's going to be badass. So whether he be in melee or get shot from afar and all of a sudden you bring one back, which extends his potential threat range, like speed 6 Oblits could be pretty cool. So there's speed 6, toughness, whatever, or +1 to hit if you want to go the shooting route. But I think having 4 Oblits that you could bring one back in your command phase, adding to an additional 80-point model is pretty bonkers. Again, when you bring one back, you can then put it 2 inches away from the original one. So let's say you kill the one in the back. Well, now the one in front is still alive. You then put it 2 inches away from him, and then his base is so freaking big. You basically got 1, 2, 3, 4, like 4.5 inches out of this placement. And then you can move up 6, advance and charge if you really want to. But like, I'm gonna try out the 4 Oblits. I only have 2 built. I actually need to build 2 more Oblits. But yeah, so Oblits, they give you some type of shooting in this list. 20 possessed models, 2 10-mans. They could just be rapid ingressing if you don't want to rapid ingress the Oblits, but rapid ingress, one of them's to get them in position, the other one can start on the table, run to that little triangle so that way you have a launching point. But just possessed in this detachment just is the perfect weapon with the Bile thing. And then I was going to test out Warp Towns as well. I had an extra 125 points. You could go another Chosen unit. You could add a what else could you add? Some 125 points. Havocs, another Nemesis Claw, another 5-man Possessed. So you can add a couple things. I want to try the Warp Talons because additional 2-inch move, additional weapon skill, additional strength, like all of these could benefit the Warp Talons. So I really want to test out the Warp Talons. I suck with Warp Talons. You can ask Kevo. But I want to test out the Oblits. I want to test out the Warp Talons. Obviously, I want to test out the Possessed. I have 30 Possessed. I've been waiting to go since the Codex released. This might be the detachment to test it out in. And obviously pack bound, but that is going to be one of my lists that I'm going to be running very soon. Another Creations of Bile list you guys will be seeing on Friday just going to run down really quick. It's going to be Lord, Demon Hammer, Cypher, Bile, Horon, because I want to put more models into reserves. Cultist, 10, 20, 30 Legionnaires, all 10-mans. 2 5-man Legionnaires, so we have 40 Legionnaires in the list. 2 Rhinos. 10, 20 Nemesis Claws, because the Nemesis Claw gets 190 points for a 10-man, compared to 5-man for 110, so you save... 20 points by putting them into 10-man units. So 2 10-man Nemesis Claws, a 10-man Possessed, 1 6-man Nurgling, and 1 3-man Nurgling. So I have a bunch of Nurglings across the table to help out with the -1 to hit in combat. The Nemesis Claws already have stealth built in, so you can have stealth on 2 10-man bricks, and you can have 1 CP to make another 10-man brick stealth, basically -1 to hit. Advance and charge on basically everybody. And yeah, that's going to be run on Friday. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be coming up live. But yeah, let me know in the comments below, guys. I am excited about this. I'm not thinking this is going to be the most competitive, probably most fun to run, but it's definitely going to be cool to see on the tabletop, especially at the competitive level. I know one of the guys, one of the top players, have been running this for the last GT. I think he won the GT. So it's going to be cool. Definitely look it up. But guys, I appreciate it. Good luck. And yeah, we'll see you on Friday with this list in another video soon. What's up, gents? 40k Dirtbags here. If you guys are thinking about joining the Patreon page, we're going to go over each tier and how it's going to benefit you and what you're looking for specifically to get out of 40k in 10th edition coming up. There's a lot of stuff to go over. There's a lot of tactical videos up on the channel, which is for free. There's going to be a bunch of perks that you get specifically for being a part of the Dirtbag Nation Patreon page. So first off, we have the first tier, which is $1 a month. You guys get first access to the videos over at patreon.com. You also get access to the Discord, which is specifically a private link in the Discord that only Patreon members can see. So you guys will have first access to that. Also a benefit is Patreons over the Dirtbag Nation get live streamed games on patreon.com streamed from YouTube, but there's only links specifically for the patreons.com. So not only do you get first access to these videos, you also get to see live stream games specifically only on patreon.com. The next tier is the Justicar. You guys get a shout out on every single video on YouTube. You also get to support us a little bit more. You get first dibs at voting on Discord, as well as you just kind of say, hey, I just want to be a Justicar Dirtbag and support you guys a little bit more than that $1 a month tier. But you get all the same access as well as the different color over on the Discord. So the third tier is the competitive Dirtbag. This tier, you get a lot more one-on-one coaching. This is a lot of the Dirtbags over on the Dirtbag Nation. They are able to send out messages one-on-one, go over list ideas, tactics, anything you guys want to talk about. When I was getting into 40k, or really any game in general, I always wanted to message the top players in the meta and just ask them questions. This $10 a month tier gets you that opportunity to message us one-on-one on Discord, so that way we can actually coach you, give you our insights, suggestions, and that's going to get you better at the 40k 10th edition as a whole. So that tier alone, just $10 a month to have one-on-one coaching, one-on-one messages anytime throughout the month, that's going to be a perfect tier for you guys. Even if you're brand new to the game, we go over 1,000-point list, 1,500-point list, 2,000-point brand new starting list, team list, anything you guys need. That's what the competitive Dirtbag tier is for. Also, you get a little bit red number name tag on Discord, so people know that you're really serious about getting into the competitive scene. The Grandmaster Dirtbags. This is the all-in-all $25 a month tier. You get one-on-one coaching, everything we said prior to this, but you guys get to see me, Mike, any of the other Dirtbags play your specific list that you want to see tested out live on one of our battle reports. You guys get to mention, suggest videos you guys want to see coming up on patreon.com. So you guys get the above first tier benefit of everything that we do over at Dirtbag Nation. All the support mainly comes from you guys supporting us over here at Dirtbag Nation. And Grandmasters, I can't thank you enough, but for $25 a month, you get one-on-one coaching and anything you want to see live on the tabletop. So you get to see a professional play right in front of you. You guys get to kind of like see it one-on-one, and I'm actually making this specifically for you. There's also TTS events that you guys can suggest. If you guys want to do a first 1 or 2 turn run through on TTS, we can actually log in and coach you one-on-one with that. If you guys see us at any GTs, you guys get special benefits, free dice, stuff like that. Anytime you purchase a merch thing on Discord, you guys get a free limited edition Dirtbag dice sent to you with every single purchase on top of that. So there's a lot of benefits coming up with the Grandmaster Dirtbag. Because I can't thank you enough for supporting us. Definitely let me know which tier would be best for you if you go over to patreon.com and specifically go to a tier. And make sure you don't forget to message me up on Discord. That's where we check every single day. If you guys are really into getting into 10th edition 40k, head over to Patreon, join the Competitive Dirtbag or the Grandmaster. Message me as many times as you possibly want, and I'll coach you the best I possibly can on any specific army that you guys play. Mainly our armies right now, currently, going into 2024, is going to be Chaos Space Marines, Grey Knights, Death Guard, and then we have Custodes, Sisters, and I think that's it going into the Wings of 2024. But again, any other army that you guys play, we have other coaches lined up for the Dirtbags that are ready to take on that role of the Competitive Dirtbag page. So guys, really appreciate it. Thanks for clicking on the video. Thanks for joining the Dirtbag Nation if you guys are already part of us. And we'll see you in another video soon.